Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video and welcome back to another patch note breakdown. And my god, it's already patch 14.9. I honestly can't really believe we're at MSI because that is nearly the middle literally of the season. It's about to be May. I don't understand where this year is going. But just want to also officially announce it just in case you've missed it because obviously I'm a bit ahead on YouTube content at the moment. For those that have not heard, and I'm actually really happy and excited about it because I think it's going to be really fun. I have been selected to be a co-streamer for MSI. So I don't really know why I get all these opportunities from Riot, but we do. So I've not watched pro play for a long time. And I'll be completely honest and open with people. A lot of the reason I got kind of out of pro play, it wasn't because of the real gameplay. I didn't enjoy a lot of the casters that they had. And I know that, you know, it's a bit near to say that, but I just didn't enjoy the casting. So then I was just watching it on mute. And then when you watch it on mute forever, you're just going to stop watching it. So the reason why I'm really hyped for it is I actually get what is called a clean feed, and there's no casting audio. I am the casting audio, you know? So feel free to come over to my Twitch channel. I'm not going to be streaming it all the time, but I will say 9 AM UK time on Thursday, I am going to be streaming the Fnatic game. I would be streaming tomorrow, but it's my day off and I go to the gym. So I'm not streaming like day one MSI. It's play-ins anyway, so it's not the most important. But also just to make the announcement. So as you all know, I'm trying to get the Huzzy Extra account re-monetized. For anyone's like, oh man, I'm going to miss Huzzy casting MSI. No, you're not. So I'm going to be uploading it all on Huzzy Extra. Unless it's a really good game and I feel like I cast it really well, then it'll come here on HuzzyGames. It will be the second video on HuzzyGames if I feel it's a really good casting game and worth showing to the bigger audience. But every other game that I want to upload, sorry if you hear barking, will be uploaded on Huzzy Extra. So make sure you're subscribed to that channel, link down below. So let's get into it. So the patch preview, it's a pretty big one, obviously, because, well, I actually don't know why it's a big one. So this one is not, I think, the MSI patch. I think MSI is being played on 14.8. So that is not this. So I guess these are all the changes that they didn't want to kind of crazy do for MSI, is my guess. So, nerfs to Ahri, Aurelion, Blitzcrank, Evelynn, Jinx, Castin, Master Yi, Olaf, Pyke, Skarner, Talia, Twitch, Urgot. And then we got buffs to Amumu, Karma, Kennen, Mouse, which is weird to see, Sedge and Seraphine. And adjustments to Akshan, Belveth, Janna, and Neela. System adjustments to Champion Radius, which I'm actually pretty happy about this change because hitboxes have been broken for a really long time. Death Dance, Eclipse, Hexdrink and more, Sterix, and Sundered Sky. We've also got new Empyrean skins. Lee Sin is getting his ASU, and then Kayle is getting the upcoming Prestige. Also, with 14.9 is Vanguard. So with 14.9, Vanguard, Riot's proprietary anti-cheat system will be deployed and active in League of Legends. So you have to have it to play the game. I know there are still people that are like about it, but it's overall good thing. And I've tried to convince people. I've tried not to fearmonger like a lot of people are. Every big game a lot of the time now has to have kernel level anti-cheat, and it's been kind of weirdly funny for me to see some people squirm and be like, I'm going to go play Dota 2. Valve's VAC anti-cheat software has been kernel since like 2002 or 2003. Like, BattlEye is kernel-based. Blizzard's version, that obviously is for COD, is kernel-based now. They have to go that way because that's where the cheats are hiding, you know? And it just makes our game better. They're not spying on you. Get your tinfoil hat off, and I've seen everything of like, oh, you know, this is like Tencent, China government owned and all that. It's not even the same anti-cheat that they use. This is something that Riot has made. This has nothing to do with Tencent. And I know me saying that won't make the conspiracy theorists believe it, but it will help the game, you know, it really will. So with that, DirectX 9 is being depreciated. If you've got a fairly modern system, you'll probably be fine. Lee Sin is getting his ASU, so I'm actually pretty hyped for this. I will definitely play a Lee Sin game, probably on Thursday to try him out. So he's getting a brand new rig, animations, and audio. And they've also kind of like made Lee Sin across the board in essence the same, because some of the skins were modern versus the old. So I'm really kind of happy about this. And what's actually interesting, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of the skins now have got his massive ponytail. So, yeah, well, I think only 1 or 2 of the skins before had that, so fair enough. There's obviously a lot of stuff that is being updated, and with that, hilariously, they're doing price increases on 2 of his skins, because obviously they're technically higher quality now, which is kind of hilarious. So going over when Split 1 is ending and Split 2 is starting. So yeah, May 14th is the last day of Split 1. It will end a second before midnight. And then with this, Split 2 is starting midnight, a second later. I guess, and also for those that are like, what happens if you're in a game when that kind of crossover happens? I would guess it counts to the previous season split. I would guess it goes to the starting date of the game, is what I would guess. I don't know if it says here. Yeah, I've got no... Oh, no, at noon. Never mind. I tell a lie. Reading it properly helps. So it ends a second before midnight, and then the new season starts noon. So literally 12 hours basically later. So there you go. That's a better answer to it. Arena is Arena, so Arena's coming back. I might make some Arena content, maybe even if it goes on Huzzy Extra. Let me know if you want to see that. It might go on Huzzy Extra. Arena's getting some balances, don't really care about that. Big gameplay changes. So there are some big changes, like the kind you'll want to read about, because these are important changes in this patch. We've got plenty of smaller scope balance changes, but if you want the ones of the large gameplay, start with these. We're retuning a bunch of fighter itemization and redesign the purpose of Morman Mortius. We're also reshaping Akshan, Belveth, and Neela, while Kennen gets a new animation for his ultimate with some updated functionality. And then lastly, Sejuani is getting some big buffs, and Skarner is getting some big nerfs because he needs them. Yeah, Skarner has been bonkers OP since his launch. So, Hex Drinker is getting nerfed. A lot, it has to be sort of fighter items, have been very strong for quite a while. So less magic resist, also a recipe change. So just like a little nerf to it, I guess. And with that, they are changing Mortimer Mortius to be a more expensive item, but it's getting ability haste, but it's getting less magic resist, but it's getting more attack damage. The lifeline duration is going up, and the lifeline buff is changing it from 12 lifesteal to 10 omnivamp. So to me, as like just a very quick, that's a much stronger item. Like, much stronger. Yes, it's got... The only nerf to it is a 10 magic resist. That's it. Yes, it costs more, but you're getting ability haste where you didn't get it before. You're getting more attack damage. You're getting a longer lifeline duration, which is making it now from 12% lifesteal, which some people go, oh, it's a nerf by 2%. No. Lifesteal is when you're just auto-attacking. Omnivamp is when you're doing damage with any type of source. 10% Omnivamp is much stronger than 12% lifesteal. So... that's a much stronger item, so I'm a bit confused why they're doing that. Their stance, again, changing its recipes, giving it more attack damage, and also giving it more bonus AD. I am so confused with what they're doing, because again, I guess, well, in my head, is Maul and Death's Dance being problematic? Not really. I guess it's more being like Eclipse and stuff like that. So I guess maybe what they're trying to do is they're maybe trying to like balance the items a bit more evenly, but I have no idea. Steric's Gauge becoming more expensive, and the lifeline is going up in cooldown, so it's been overperforming for fighters, so they're just simply making it more expensive and making it happen less. So that is a nerf. Sundered Sky, again, very strong item. So the light line shield strike per target cooldown is going up, so you can't hit the same target as often. And then the actual damage of it is 120% of your base AD, where it was 140. So that is a nerf to Sundered Sky, which is good. So the Sundered Sky has been very strong, and Eclipse has been very strong. So the Ever Rising Moon damage was 8% melee, 4% ranged, or target's maximum health. It's 6% melee, and ranged is saying the same. Not many ranged champions buy this item. It's, again, a very common item on like Aatrox, Kled, like the duelist fighters, if you will. A lot of them buy that. So it is a nerf to them. So I guess what Riot's doing is trying to nerf Eclipse a bit, trying to nerf Sundered Sky a bit, and going and nerf Sterix and kind of going, hey, Death's Dance and more exist. I guess that's what they're doing. Champions. So, Akshan, Q movement speed on champion hit no longer scales with level. That's a nerf. Damage to non-champions decreased, and our minimum damage per shot increased, maximum damage adjusted. So, But yeah, he's a very... The thing with Akshan, and they're just saying it straight away, he's been a fairly frustrating top and mid laner to face. Yeah, he's stupidly annoying to face. And one of my things in League, and you will hear me say it depending what champions we're playing against, one of the things that I want as a player, I want to feel that I deserve the win, but I also want to feel like I deserve, as weird as it sounds, the loss. I want to feel like I actually got beaten. And the thing with Akshan that I don't know if ever it's going to change is you never feel great losing to one. And that's just because of his kit. And it's not even like his Q, W, or E. And you know, the W is a bit annoying, but it's the revive. The revive mechanic is just such a, dare I say, toxic mechanic that, you know, he can, and a lot of Akshans do, play very KDA focused. And they wait, you know, and that's the whole play style. And, you know, you can win a fight and, hey, we got a triple kill on my AD carry. And then Akshan just gets that AD carry killed. And lo and behold, the enemy team now has the number advantage because Akshan revived 3 people. It's like, really? It does seem a little bit problematic. So I would fix Akshan and I would potentially give him more individual strength as a champion, but nerfing that revive passive of maybe only can revive 1 champion or something. Like, it's, to me, kind of that area of if he's really strong as an individual champion and he has that revive mechanic, it's problematic. So his Q is being flattened, his movement speed on champion hit to 20% at all ranks, so that is his starting speed that he had. But then the damage to non-champions is also going down. Presumably this is making his wave clear worse, because especially in top lane, he hits you once with Q, he gets movement speed, and if you're playing a typical melee top laner, what the hell are you doing against an Akshan? You can beat them, but it's annoying, and that's the whole point. It shouldn't be annoying to play against something. It should be like a test of skill. And then the ultimate is being in compensated buff, though. So the minimum damage... compensated in a way. So the minimum damage, so this is for level 6, level 11, level 16. The minimum damage per bullet is going up, with also an AD ratio increase. Then the maximum damage per bullet, at level 6 it's being flattened down, because they probably feel, maybe level 6 is a bit too strong. And then it is getting a buff, with also a 5% AD ratio. So they're just kind of slightly just making sure his level 6 isn't a bit oppressive, especially in top lane. So I'm kind of okay with that. Belveth. Again, very strong champion. Arguably, maybe tied, as hilarious as what I'm about to say, maybe tied best solo queue jungler right now with Master Yi. Both of which are getting nerfed this patch, presumably. So, passive bonus attack speed adjusted, Q damage decreased, Q damage to monsters increased, though, in the early game. So, the passive of her attack speed, she used to get 0.28 to 1% on levels 1 to 13. It's now 0.28 to 1% of levels 1 to 17. So they're delaying her power spike of attack speed, basically. So that means at levels 2 to 16, Belveth will have slightly less attack speed. This is most pronounced at level 13. So they're delaying that, you know, you're a late game hyper carry. You can take over, but you have to get to level 17 to be what you used to be in terms of her passive attack speed. I'm okay with that. She is supposed to be a late game hyper carry. And then her Q, the damage of it is staying the same base, but 10% less total AD ratio. And then the damage modifier, however, is an early game buff, but is then eventually a nerf, I guess. So you can see here, it's going from 100% total damage, is now going to a flat damage. And they're saying this is a buff until she gets 136% total attack damage. So eventually will be a bit of a nerf, but this is just for jungle clearing. This is the monster damage modifier, so that's fine. Kennen, E damage range indicator added. That's cool. And R animation added, can now cast while moving. Wow, he couldn't cast that while moving, apparently. That's kind of insane for modern League. So just nice quality of life changes for Kennen. Again, not the strongest champion, very niche, but cool to see nonetheless. Was my... dare I say, original main. I know everyone probably remembers thinking it's Fiddlesticks. Kennen was the first ever champion I played in League of Legends. I then moved on to Fiddlesticks back in Season 1. Neela, Q minimum damage decreased, bonus attack speed increased, bonus damage based on crit strike chance decreased. So we nerfed Neela's attack speed from Q, which ended up nerfing her more in high level play. We're reverting that nerf and nudging her gameplay toward consistent DPS as opposed to burst damage. She seems more of a burst champion to me anyway, though. That's the thing. So returning that attack speed and instead reducing some upfront burst damage on her active instead. Neela is a bit stronger than we think she should be. So so our intent for these changes is to leave Neela a bit weaker than she currently is, especially in low skill play. Interesting. So yeah, they're trying to reduce burst, but giving her more DPS. But their goal with this is actually making her slightly weaker. So that's cool. Sejuani, a champ you don't see that much, but again, with like the rise of tank items being so strong, maybe Sejuani is like a hidden gem that, like, you know, she's not going to be Skarner level, but like and you know, Zac level, they're probably a bit above everyone else, but she probably isn't too bad. So passive bonus resistance is increased and W damage adjusted. So maybe it would be worth having a little bit. Oh my god. Dude, so she's getting now way more resistances on her frost armor, and her damage, you know, ignoring even the flat damage that is going down significantly. The first hit is 4% of her max health. She's a full tank that builds health. Then it's 8%, that's a 2% buff, and then 12% than 8. Dude, Sedge could do damage when she's like 5-6 items in. Oh boy, jeez, okay. I don't know if that's needed, but sure. Skarner, this guy should get billions of nerfs. Mana regen growth is going up. Not a nerf. Q. One thing I will say, I laned against a Skarner support earlier, and he spammed the living hell out of picking up a rock and throwing it, because apparently it doesn't have a mana cost. And then they're making his mana regen better. Like, what? So the damage per hit on his Q, the auto kind of rock thing, is going down, and then the Q no longer refreshes the buff duration upon attacking wards or plants. Okay, and then the W, the slow is being flattened to what the rank 1 is, and the shield of it is also going down to 8% max health, not 9. But to be honest, these nerfs, I think he's still going to be very strong. They're not massive nerfs at all. So champion radiuses. This is something that is quite big. So a lot of champions in League, it's weird, but the logic of champions that are large and champions that are small didn't quite make sense. For example, Warwick in top lane, very annoying. You sometimes might be like, wait, he dodged that? He didn't, really. His hitbox was broken. And when I say broken, it was smaller than Yumi's hitbox. And he's Warwick in top lane as a bruiser. Didn't make sense that he has a smaller hitbox than Yumi. So I will say, and we give him a lot of hard time, the person that actually championed this apparently is Freak. So this may be the one thing that I've agreed with Freak so far. He's kind of been in the balance team. So well done him, I guess. Got to give credit where it's due. So what you'll actually overall see is some champions are going down a little bit, and a lot of champions are going up. A lot of champions had smaller hitboxes than they really should have. So yeah, majority of champions I think are going up in hitbox, which means they're more likely to get hit by things. And now this is something I will say, it's going to take a while for people to adjust. If you've been playing your champion for a few years and you kind of know your movement or where to dodge and what to weave and all that, you're going to have to learn it again. So if you're wondering like what these units are, think of this as your range unit. So, you know, like a Caitlyn or an AD carry typically has like 550 range. So the range of Alistair's hitbox is moving to 140 units. So that's kind of what is going on. So make sure you look at what your champions and what's happening to your champions. Not every champion is being hit. A lot of them are. So, you know, Zoe is very petite, young girl character. She had a bigger hitbox, for example, than Zac. What? So that's being changed. Zac is going up by 50 units. That's a big. So there's Yumi. Hers was 120. Warwick's was 111. Yumi's is going down to 100. Warwick's is going up to 120. Yone's is going up massive, like Yasuo's, because both of these champions, they duel and they can dodge things when they maybe shouldn't, so they're going to get hit by way more stuff. Xerath's is going up, Vel'Koz, Veigar, Rumble's is coming down, Rengar's is going up by a massive amount as well. So make sure you do look at this and just make sure you're like, you know, if any of your champions are here, take a mental note that you're going to have to be more emphasized on dodging things, because where before you didn't have to emphasize as much, now you'll just get hit by that stuff. So yeah, look into that specifically. Also, gameplay collision radius as well. These are also changing too. Small gameplay changes. So these are the smaller changes that aren't as big as the ones previous. So that's actually a cool way that they're doing patch notes. So again, if you can't watch or read everything, look at the big stuff. Great, that's the priority. Okay, the smaller stuff, here you go. So Ahri has been, by default, a good mid laner, but the thing with Ahri, I don't think she's been obnoxiously strong. Where I think Ahri has been good is blind pick mid. I don't know what to blind pick mid, and I haven't for the last couple months, to be honest, because if you pick the wrong thing in mid lane, you get destroyed. And Ahri's good for blind pick because she's got mobility. You know, you rush Malignance and then you can ultimate away from danger because, like, there'll be a fizz picked against you or something, but at least you can ult. So she is getting nerfed. They don't seem to be insane. So, like, it's a 5 damage nerf per rank. That's not insane. That doesn't change much. What does change is the level 6 is staying the same, so that's fine. Again, surviving lane phase is the priority for Ahri if you're blind picking her. Then level 11, level 16, the ultimate timing is going up. But it will still be on the low side, especially with Malignance, because the one thing that Riot, and I think a lot of people have noted this, Malignance is questionably an item that shouldn't really exist. A lot of League is balanced around ultimate strength, and then they introduce a mage item that makes your ultimate way less on cooldown. By premise, it doesn't sound balanced, especially for mages, where, again, especially for mages, their ultimates are, a lot of the time, the biggest part of their kit. Again, what they're doing is, you know, they're nerfing the champions that use Malignance instead of kind of maybe rethinking Malignance as much. Maybe that's the better thing to do. Because I would not say Ahri is really, really strong. She's just used because it's really hard to blind pick in mid, especially. So, yeah. So, it is getting some nerfs, though. Probably is still okay to play, is what I would say, though. Amumu, base attack damage going up, base armor going up, so that will both help him in jungle and probably support a little bit. Don't forget to auto-attack, is what I would say. Aurelion Sol, again, another champion that some people who aren't playing Aria's blind pick, some people are playing Aurelion blind pick, because you can play a play style that you kind of sit back and you just free farm with your E, and that's what they're hitting. So the E damage is going, staying the same by base, but it's a 20% AP ratio nerf, so that will affect his clear a little bit in mid lane wave clear and stuff. So it's a nerf, but he's still a very strong hyper carry mage in late game. Blitzcrank, passive shield duration, massive mana barrier, 10 seconds. It's now 4 seconds. Whoa. So that's going down quite a lot. And then the W overdrive, the initial speed is going down. Well, it's actually all going down by 10%. So they actually think Blitzcrank is a little bit too strong right now. I don't see many Blitzcranks, but okay. Evelynn, W slow decreased, R damaged decreased. So all nerfs for Evelynn. Again, obnoxiously strong solo queue champion, and is what you'd also really call a specialist champion. That she's mainly a one-trick champion. So when you get a one-trick on a very sort of strong solo queue champion, it's annoying. So they're just nerfing it. The slow from her W, which obviously is the charm, is going down 20%. So more likely to get away before you get hit. And then the ultimate is also going down 10% AP ratio. So she'll still be strong for solo queue, there's no doubt. But it is a nerf. Janna is getting, well, changed. So they're trying to move her away from damage and move her back to shielding. I personally wish, and I've been very open about it, I've used it to climb. The support at the moment is just stupid. Like, Enchanter supports are doing more damage than they should, but then the strongest supports are not supports. You know, Shaco, Camille, Skarner. they're insane right now, and I will be the first one to admit that. But Riot just seem okay with it for some reason. I don't know. So W, the damage is going down by base. Also a 10% AP ratio nerf. But then the shield is getting a compensation. Has to be said, a little bit of a small buff. But yeah, I don't think Janna should be going damage. And again, Zack is the damage orientated support item, so they're probably going like, hey, your guys are supposed to do the shield one, not the damage one. So there's that. Jinx, I would say Jinx and Zeri have been tied the strongest AD carries on the last patch, and they're just toning down her super mega death rocket, make it more less likely in the early game. 15-second nerf, and then a 10-second nerf and a 5-second nerf at the ranks accordingly. I don't think this affects Jinx that much, to be honest, because it's not like you use your ultimate on cooldown as Jinx. It's an opportunistic ult. And, you know, if you're fighting a lot, sure, you'll probably use it a lot more. But it's, again, you're not using it all the time. And I think that's overall okay. You know, delaying a fight by 15 seconds in the early game on your first level of it, it's not the end of the world for Jinx. And she still is very strong right now. Karma, Q slow increased, R plus E shield on secondary targets increased, and bonus movement speed increased. So you can see these buffs are specifically not giving Karma more damage, because what they don't want is to buff her damage a bit and then she'd be straight back with Malignance in top lane and mid. So they're basically buffing the support elements of her. So the slow on Q, the shield on E. So yeah, they're really trying not to kind of put Karma where she was a couple months ago. And they're saying, you know, we're happy she's viable in mid, but obviously when she was, you know, annoying a couple months ago, she was too strong with Malignance for sure. Kassadin, E damage decreased. So yeah, even Kassadin is getting some nerfs. Again, Malignance once again is a champion, is an item that this champion is buying, and it is giving him arguably too much strength in the early game. But they're not really nerfing anything other than an AP ratio on his E, so he's still going to be quite strong. 10% AP ratio gone down, but it's still Kassadin. He's still going to be crazy in late game. It's Kassadin. Malzahar, the mana cost of his Q is going up. Wait, what? Oh, it's going up, but going to the point that it is currently. So it used to be 80 at all ranks. It's starting at 60 and eventually getting to 80 at max rank. So that's better for like lane phase. And then the E, the cooldown of his dot. Ooh, that's nice. 4 second. That's a big buff. 4 second buff for his rank 1 E. That helps a lot in lane clearing and stuff in the early game. So it's pretty nice. But no damage buffs. Maybe they think his damage is okay, but yeah. Master Yi. So let's see what they actually say about him, because he is obnoxious. And again, he shouldn't be viable. And this is maybe where my opinion differs to others. He shouldn't be viable in high rating. He was always joked and he's a low rating champion, and you couldn't really play him in Diamond 1. I see him every day I stream. And 2-3 years ago, I never saw this champion. And you'd laugh when someone picked Master Yi. And you'd be like, wait, someone's picking Master Yi in Diamond? What? He's now really OP. So, while popular opinion places Master Yi as a straightforward menace in low level skills, an extremely lofty late game, that's simply not true anymore. Yep. He's actually equally performant across all levels of play, and is just about as strong in the early game as he is in late, which is really stupid. He's also simply overpowered. Again, Riot do not say that word very often. So we need to nerf him a bit. Okay, so in my mind, if something is overpowered, you don't nerf it a bit. You nerf it a lot. And in my opinion, even more so when it's as simple as a Master Yi. He is arguably the most simple champion in the game, behind Yuumi. And hell, Yuumi even has skill shots and stuff, but he's annoying. Like, it's what I spoke about earlier with Akshan. Like, you want to feel like you got beat, and you want to feel like you skillfully got beat, and the enemy deserved to win. I can nearly guess 99% of people in the comment section or watching this video, unless you're a Master Yi player, you never feel that you got beat by a Master Yi. You get beat by stats. You do not get beat by the player, and that sucks. It's annoying. So typically, we're going to go after these unexpected early game strengths, which we know will disproportionately affect him in higher skill levels. We'd like if Master's power level was the result of straightforward late game DPS more than early game dueling. Yeah, he's not designed to win early game, yet he's way powerful in the early game now. So his true damage, bonus true damage on his E is what they're hitting, is going down by 10 in the early game, which again is a factor to why he's strong in the early game. I personally do not feel these are enough nerfs. Like, I would have hit his W a little bit. I also probably would have hit his Q a little bit, personally. But yeah, he's still going to be really strong. Olaf, Q damage decreased. Wow, really, Olaf. Bonus to damage to monsters increased and R passive resistance decreased. I do not see Olaf right now at all. So his Q damage is going down, but 5 per rank. It's not a lot, but in early game trading in top lane, it can matter. The jungle is going up, though, quite a lot. So they want to move him into jungle. And then the ultimate, the passive, so when you just click your ultimate, you instantly get passive resistances. Is staying the same at level 6, but then is going down at level 11 and level 16. I don't see Olaf at all. So I don't know, maybe that's a regional pick, because I just don't see him in EU West, at least in like Diamond 1 EU West. Pyke. W mana cost increased, cooldown increased, so nerfs to Pyke. So yeah, mana cost is going up and can't use it as often. Well, Seraphine, again, a bit of a mess of a champion. They never can realistically get this champion right. And honestly, I do think it's basically a curse on any champion that Riot actively tries to design for 2 roles at one time. So like Senna is in sometimes a constant state of buff, nerf, buff, nerf, buff, nerf. Seraphine is also in that. Like, you know, Senna is legitimately an AD carry and support. Seraphine is a support, but has AP carry qualities. It's really hard to have these kind of 2 different play styles be perfectly balanced at any one time. Because if you make her damage too high by default, then her support side is strong. Then a support with good support side is also doing a lot of damage. It's really hard to balance. So yeah. Again, she's getting AP ratio increase at least, so that will benefit AP carry Seraphines, not support ones as much. Talia, Q mana cost increased, damage to monsters decreased. So maybe nerfing jungle a little bit, trying to buff mid lane a bit. So mana cost is going... Oh no, up. So that is a nerf overall. But they are saying the mana cost of 20 on worked ground is unchanged. So yeah, use your Q and then use the Q again from the worked area for a cheaper one. And then the bonus damage to monsters is going down AP ratio. So that is nerfs actually just straight up for Talia. She has been strong for quite a while, to be fair. Wait, is Zeri going to escape nerfs? I don't even remember. Twitch, base health decreased, health growth increased, W, a slow AP ratio decreased, and R, bonus AD decreased. So, nerfs. Base health is going down. To be fair, I laned against a Twitch earlier today, and I was shocked by how much health he had at level 1. He had like 100 or more like health than my AD carry at level 1, and I was like, what the hell? So that actually, a 50-odd health nerf, that doesn't surprise me. The health growth is going up, though, so he will get some of it back later into the game. W, the AP ratio is getting nerfed, so a nerf to AP Twitch. And then the bonus attack damage is also going down. So just straight up nerfs to Twitch all around, practically. So there we go. Got armor growth decreased, so less armor for Urgot. Oh my god, they're not nerfing Zeri. So they're nerfing Jinx, but they're not nerfing Zeri. Okay. MSI Clash, I will say... Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be here for it. My fiance's parents are celebrating a big like wedding anniversary that they've got, so we're doing like a family meal and everything. So I don't think I'm here this weekend to play Clash. So apologies. I know people like the Clash content, but yeah. Behavioral systems. What is? While we do punish leavers, chat abusers, and players who exhibit other disruptive behaviors, we also know that being on the receiving end of this behavior isn't fun for anyone, and getting indirectly punished by losing LP or having your time wasted can be frustrating. In order to make this less painful moving forward, we'll be providing consolations when a verified lever or feeder is identified in your game. Depending on your situation, these can be LP. Oh my god. Oh, I know why this can happen. I'll actually say why this can happen in a second. Autofill protection, XP boosts, or ARAM rerolls. LP, right. People that hate Vanguard, and if you've ever been in a rank situation of having a troll or an AFK, and you're like, dude, my LP, Riot, give me back my LP. They couldn't actually do it before. Their system was too old that they couldn't actively do it. Vanguard, being as modern as it is the reason that Riot could actually now do LP given back to you. So maybe that will help you like Vanguard a bit more. Also worth knowing, you know, just to say, it may happen to you in this special first week because cheaters are definitely going to test the boundary a bit of Vanguard. And, you know, just to make it very clear, Vanguard won't be perfect. It will be learning a little bit. So some cheats, some scripts may still get through. So it has to learn. But if a cheater is detected in one of your games, the game will end. It will cancel the game. Nobody wins, nobody loses LP, but the cheater gets banned, and then that's it. You might be, for that, you might be given a smaller version of one of these, not LP in that situation, because no one will win LP, but for wasting your time, you may be given an XP boost or something. But there you go. Additionally, warnings will now be issued for players who have received a large volume of reports, requiring them to review and accept our code of conduct before proceeding. If the player continues to receive high volumes of reports, they will be punished. So I will say this is not bad, or it's good. There are some accounts that people always show of like, dude, this guy has been inting for 100 games in a row. What is going on? You'd hope that he's getting a lot of reports a game and a game and a game and a game. Now they'll automatically just kind of get banned out for the amount of reports they're getting. I will say this is just straight up a nerf to a specific player. He's obviously one of the league's most popular content creators, the Baus FFS. He gets a lot of reports. He obviously gets banned quite often, but as a league partner and stuff, he gets unbanned. Now that the system is just going to go off how many reports you're receiving, this is a bit dangerous for content creators, I will say, because everyone knows who the content creator is, and they could just throw reports on them to try and actively get that person banned, even if they're not doing anything. And that's the thing. What Riot is saying here is just the volume of reports is what's being counted partially. That's a bit scary to me. Mythic shop rotation. So Lee Sin's getting quite a lot of the stuff because he's got obviously his ASU, sorry. Bug fixes, I will say, have a quick little read if there's any champions, and there we go. So overall, quite an interesting patch. I agree with a lot of it. I'm really happy about like this, the champion radius. So I will say so many people are going to get caught out by that in this upcoming week. It's going to be probably quite funny. I'm probably going to get caught out by it. You know, it will be quite funny. But yeah, Vanguard is coming. Hopefully you guys are prepared. Hopefully anyone that, you know, was a bit scared about it before, yeah, hopefully anyone, you know, who wasn't right with it before maybe is a little bit more okay with it. But anyway, that's gonna be it. If you guys did enjoy, do throw a like on it, throw a comment, throw a subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace, restore our glory to live forever. Bring down the dark regime and